Good evening, guests and fellow Toastmasters. A very warm welcome to meeting number 39 of the Gabbys International Toastmasters Club. I am Toastmaster Yogita Upadhayay, your Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. As a Sergeant at Arms, it's my duty to highlight some key points for the entire meeting. The meeting is going to be blocked for 2 hours, also urging you to stay for the entire duration so that you get the maximum benefit out of it. Your video should be on and your audio should be off, and you're requested to speak only when you are called to speak or need to speak. Regarding the topics of sex, religion, politics, even though Toastmaster International does not put any restrictions on these topics, we at the Gabbys Toastmaster Club request all the role takers and speakers to be mindful and abstain from expressing any controversial views on these sensitive topics. Our club mission is to provide a supportive and a positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills. So let's get started with this enriching speech marathon, and I would now hand over the stage to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Jitender Rulaniya. Toastmaster Jitender Rulaniya is a travel enthusiast who is interested in different cultures and values. Proficient horse rider who believes in a circle of influence, always focusing on things which he can control. He is passionate about running. It's like meditation to him. Toastmaster Jitendra, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yogita, for explaining the role as well as my introduction. I would request all of you to come on camera. I think that will give energy to me to be better. So in today's meeting, we have 7 speech lineup, and if there are guests, due to paucity of time, you may not get chance to introduce yourself, but please make use of chat to introduce. And we would love to hear your suggestions and feedback. So let me quickly brief about the Toastmaster. The organization was formed in 1924 and has more than 270,000 members spread in 150 countries. It is a non-profit organization that teaches public speaking, leadership skill, and great place to network. It is a platform where we need to unlearn, learn, and relearn. So here you have a chance to become best version of yourself. In today's meeting, we have only 2 sections. First one is prepared speeches, followed by evaluation, and second one is table topics and its evaluation. But our meeting is not possible without timer. So today's timer is Toastmaster Sreehari. So let me introduce Toastmaster Sreehari. Sreehari is a mechanical design engineer at robotic startups. He's avid reader and fitness enthusiast. To improve his social confidence and expand network, he joined Toastmaster. So let me call upon our timer. Toastmaster Sreehari, could you please explain the role?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Hello, everyone. As a timer, I will, as per the agenda, we have prepared speeches and table topics. So I will alert each speaker the time they have left using the green card, yellow card, and red card. For the table topic speakers, they should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks to their specific times. And for the individual evaluations, it should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 3 minutes, I'll raise the red card. And I also raise the red card for table topic evaluators after 30 seconds for each person. That's all from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sreehari, for explaining the role in detail, because without timer, our Toastmaster meeting is incomplete. And now let's start with our speech marathon, and I'm sure speaker would be waiting for their chance to come up. So let me call upon our first speaker, Toastmaster Yogita. And here's a brief introduction about Toastmaster Yogita. She's an easygoing and joyful individual who thrives in social environment. Her natural rapport with people makes her well suited for the role of HR professional and image and soft skill trainer. Outside of her 9 to 5 routine, she enjoys dancing, reading thought-provoking books, and exploring new destinations. Along with that, she also experiments with different cuisines. Today, Toastmaster Yogita is attempting her icebreaker speech from motivational strategies. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech. Timer, please note her speech duration is 4 to 6 minutes, and she'll be evaluated by Toastmaster Punith. Punith, could you please confirm your presence?
Yes, Toastmaster Jitender, I'm here.
Thank you. Her speech title is Awkward Awakenings. Toastmaster Yogita, Awkward Awakenings, Awkward Awakenings, Toastmaster Yogita.
Today, I will be giving my icebreaker speech for the second time, which is a chance for me to reintroduce myself. For those who don't know me, like all of you, I am a person shaped by my past experiences. I am here today because I am hopeful that this particular experience will make me a better person tomorrow. I wanted to start by sharing a childhood story that showcased a pivotal event, illustrating the kind of person I was growing up. Most people experience their defining moment through major rejection or failure after putting in significant effort for something they really wanted. Well, as I mentioned, that is how I wanted to start. But as the legendary singer Mick Jagger once said, you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you might find you get what you need. After brainstorming and going through all the memories and moments of my life, I was stunned. I could not think of anything that really stood out. Nothing that truly tested me or sparked an interesting reaction. Why can't I think of anything particularly special to share? I have definitely made many mistakes from which I have learned. But what is it? After asking this question, I realized what my biggest disappointment was and is to this day. The truth is, I never passionately pursued anything wholeheartedly. I never cared to rise above the group, challenge the status quo, or work hard to excel in any one thing. I always did what was expected and enough to get by. I never cared for more than that until not too long ago. My upbringing was a blend of tradition and progressiveness. My father came from a traditional Orthodox background, while my mother was adamant about securing the best education for me. Even though talking to boys was not allowed while I was studying, I was fortunate to study in a co-ed environment where I maintained good grades. No, I was not the topper, but a bit better than the average. This led my father to dream of me joining the civil services. I did my best to live up to his expectations, studying diligently for government exams alongside my postgrad. However, after completing my post-graduation, I was offered a placement opportunity, a job that promised quick earnings. The allure of financial independence was too strong to resist, so I took up the job. Deep down, I knew I was not confident enough to continue on the grueling path of government exams, especially after only clearing the pre-exam of SSC after multiple attempts. The safe choice was ultimately the workforce, and SSC seemed increasingly out of reach. Interestingly, my first job involved sales, a skill I had not initially considered my strong suit. I began in that role, which pushed me far beyond my comfort zone. And eventually, I transitioned into HR, where I currently work. This journey has taught me that life is not just about meeting expectations, whether our own or someone else's. It's about growth, adaptation, and finding your own path. After 5 years in the corporate world, I now face many challenges in both my professional and personal life. To keep things short, I list my shortcomings because why not? I sometimes lack social skills, when trying to build relationships with different types of people, as it was not something I cared much for growing up. I never really did things for pure joy, and currently I have a hard time enjoying and living in the present time. Given my current role and the fact that I work in a competitive and fast-moving industry, doing just enough is simply not enough for many reasons. But here's the thing. Even though I'm a bit of a late bloomer in realizing what I like to focus on, and that I ignored some of the important building blocks of developing into the well-balanced person I had aspired to be, it's never too late to work on it. Matthew Hussey once said, "The pain of rejection is nothing compared to the pain of regret." This quote deeply resonates with me. Even though I may have been late in realizing what I truly wanted to achieve, I now understand that it's never too late to start. I want to be a better person. I want to improve all my skills, and I want to take on new initiatives. I have realized life is not just about following a set path. It's about carving out your own. My goal now is to become a well-known expert in my field, giving talks at conferences around the world and helping businesses and people find solutions to their problems. Even if I don't ever reach to that point, I would never forgive myself if I did not try. I have decided to aim high, and as long as I know I am giving it on my all and I'm constantly evolving, and that makes me pretty happy. That being said, I'll leave you all with a quote by writer Avina. There is no set moment in your life that will define you. Every moment is a chance to change your life for better or worse. The choice is yours. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yogita, for sharing your personal story and how different events shaped your life. And one thing, of course, I'll carry life. You will not get in life what you want, but definitely you'll get what you need. So thank you for sharing, and a round of applause since it's an icebreaker speech. So I would like all of us to, give a standing ovation to Yogita. Thank you. Okay, now moving on to our second speaker, Toastmaster Nupur. Let me briefly introduce her. Toastmaster Nupur is a dentist specialist in specializing period ontology. That's fancy talk for gums. She runs her clinic since last year. She handles her Instagram page called Dentist under Dr. Nupur, which educates people regarding oral health. Today, she's attempting her Level 2, Project 2 from Leadership Development. The purpose of the project for the member is to identify her primary leadership style. Timer, please note the duration of her speech is 5 to 7 minutes. And she'll be evaluated by Toastmaster Upasana. Toastmaster Upasana, could you please confirm your presence?
I'm there.
Title of her speech is Quiet Leader. Toastmaster Nupur, Quiet Leader, Toastmaster Nupur. Over to you.
As a child, I was like a penguin, lost between all of the other kids. The quiet one, the one who never spoke anything to anybody, the one who was lost in midst of all the other kids, like I said. So one day, when the teacher was dividing groups for our project, she paired me up with 4 of the naughtiest kids in the class. All boys, all naughty. Me being the 5th one. I hated it. I detested it. I wanted to be there with my friends, the ones who would work with me, not these naughty kids whom I didn't know and I was sure wouldn't work. But I couldn't really go to the teacher and complain. Like I said, I was very shy. I didn't want to speak to her. So what I did was I started thinking, how can I make these boys work for me? And I thought the best approach was the direct one. So once we were made to sit in our groups and discuss with the rest of the class about our projects and the roles we'll be taking, I turned towards them and I said, I would rather fail than, work completely do all the project work by myself. I am sure that's what you're expecting. I knew teenage boys. I knew that they could smell fear faster than a shark smells blood in the water. I knew I had to set the tone right away. And I was supposed to be the leader. Even though I felt like I didn't have the skills, I had to step up at that moment. So I did. I did this. They were taken aback. They were like, this girl who wouldn't even string two words together in front of us is telling us this? Anyway, they started suggesting group names. That was the first thing we had to do, suggest a name for the group. And all the names were so boyish, Spider-Man, Marvel influenced, and everything cars related, nothing that I liked. But I thought I should pick the battles that I want to fight. So I was okay with it. I said, go ahead, you can choose it. I know my name was being added as an afterthought in that, but I was okay with it. I knew I had greater battles to fight with. So next what we did was we started discussing who would do what. I straight away started appointing them. I knew I had to take the lead. I started appointing them. This guy was creative. Let him do the creative work. Let him decorate the whole project. This guy stayed near the market. Let him buy all the materials that we needed. I'm very good at research. So I took up the research part. This guy's handwriting was amazing. So let him do the writing part of the project. So that's how I started dividing them. And I took it up on myself to do that for the first time. Next, they suggested that we should all meet. I felt it was a very good idea. I felt that meeting would enhance our bond, and we definitely needed to do that as a group. We were not very familiar with each other, and it would definitely help. So, amongst the four boys, one guy was called Vijit, and he lived near to everybody's house. So we decided that's the house we were going to meet. And we all, after we finished our schools, we all met that evening. His mom, a sweet woman, had bought in samosas and tea for everyone. But oh my God, when I entered the room we were supposed to do our project in, it was like I was entering a jungle. Boys howling, and everything on the floor. I am pretty sure a paper plane flew by my side out of the materials we were supposed to make the project of. There was, I don't know how, but somehow Fevicol on the bed sheet, and you can imagine the chaos it was in. I looked around, took a deep breath, sat on the safest part of the bed, which was without any Fevicol. And I took a deep breath and I said, listen, Vijit, you're gonna go clean up this bed sheet. You, Saurabh, you're gonna go buy more material and bring. You, Vinay, you're gonna bring out all the material that can be rescued from all this chaos that you guys have done. I was pretty sure they're gonna laugh at my face. But no, they didn't. They started listening to me. They understood that, yeah, I was serious. I am not going to let them go just like that without doing any work. So they started listening to me and they started following my orders. And then not the way that I wanted, but we started working together. This continued during till my post graduation, I'll say. Throughout my life, this continued. I started taking up the role of the leader. I wouldn't speak much because I felt that I wasn't good at that, but I would lead them. I would show them by example. I would tell them whenever necessary, no, this is crossing the limit. Let's not go there. So this happened throughout my post graduation too. Even in my post graduation, where we were three girls, we had to do a conference, a poster together. I similarly took up the research project and divided the other things amongst them, and they did go ahead. So I think it's very important that when situation calls for it, that you have to turn into a leader. You have to lead, sometimes by example, sometimes by scolding a little bit. Sometimes they will follow your lead when you start doing the work yourself. But it's very necessary that it's not just you who is doing 90% of the work and they are just goofing off. It's very necessary that you lead. So everyone has a different style, a different way of handling things, but this was my personal story. This is how I handled things in my life. And since childhood, I started doing that. And even though I'm not a natural leader, but when situation calls for it, you have to step up and you have to do the things necessary. Sometimes you have to step into the chaos and just take control of things and start dictating, and that will give you results. So thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nupur, for sharing personal story, and I can completely correlate with the naughty boys in school and how those different events led to your leadership style and which you still continue at Movement. So, okay, then moving on to our next speaker. Our third speaker is Shubham Somani. Let me briefly introduce him. Originally from the colorful state of Rajasthan, Shubham is chartered accountant with over 5 years of experience, currently working with Daimler Trucks. His career has taken him from Rajasthan to Mumbai and now to Bangalore, where he resides in Kasturi Nagar. Outside his work, he is passionate about traveling to new places, exploring diverse cuisine. He also enjoys playing badminton and devoted Bollywood fan. Today, Shubham is attempting level 1 project 2 from presentation mastery. The purpose of his project is to learn or review basic methods for writing speech with a defined purpose and present a well-organized speech on any topic. Timer, please note the speech is of 5 to 7 minutes duration and he'll be evaluated by Toastmaster Lakshmi Sujatha. Title of his speech is Screen Trap, Toastmaster Shubham. Screen Trap, Toastmaster Shubham. Hello, you have to give speech.
I'm really sorry. I just got a very good Instagram reel from my friend. It was so funny, I could not stop myself. This was me 6 months back. I used to be so involved with my smartphone that my professional and personal life was so disturbed. And I started observing my time with smartphone was more than 10 hours in a day. And then I decided I'll come out of this trap. I started studying about it and got to know one thing. On an average, we all use at least 5 hours in a day with our smartphones. If I tell it in weeks, more than a 1 day in a week and more than 6 days in a month. This data shows how important smartphones nowadays in our lives. But if you excessively use it, what bad impact it can have on your mental as well as physical health. Do you all agree with me on this part? If you do, then please raise your hand. I can see some hands. So today I'll tell you my experience with it and how I came out of this trap. I followed 3-step approach. First one, knowing the cause. Second one is knowing the impact. And third one is a practical solution of it to get out of this. Starting with first, knowing the cause. How a smartphone hacks your mind. See, there is me and you, and there are all these big MNCs and thousands of engineers and MBAs who are working towards it, that you and me fall in this trap. Now, the question is how they create this trap, how we fall in this trap. They use an approach called NA approach: novelty, anxiety, and acknowledgement. Novelty, always giving you fresh and new data whenever you open them. You take any example of any social media, and number of hours you can scroll them, and there is no limit to it. And we are humans, we like newness and freshness every time whenever it's required, and they ensure that we never get bored of it. Talking about the second one, anxiety. What they do, they create a small issues and anxieties for you and make us on the path to resolve them. For example, you're working, you're studying or exercising, and suddenly a notification will pop up on your mobile. You will go and check what this notification says. You got a message. You will go and check who has messaged me. What is that message? A news came on your mobile phone. You will go and check what is that news. I should not miss something which is happening in the world. And the third thing, acknowledgement. Do you remember when last you gave compliment to any of your friend or family member in real life? I agree, we do, but not that frequently how much we do on Instagram, Facebook, and social media apps. We do comments, we do like, we do share, subscribe, and that gives acknowledgement to all of us that we are looking good, we are doing good, we are better than others. And that is the third thing which make us fall in this trap. Talking about how it impact your brain. See, your brain is just like your tummy. If you give it good food and required food, it will be healthy. But if you start giving unnecessary food, unhealthy food, it will get disturbed and your whole body can go on toss. The same way your brain works. If you give it healthy information, if you use it only for the purpose we are supposed to use, maybe your work or your studies or whatever, then it will work fine. But if you will give it unnecessary information, unrequired information all the time, it also has a limited space. And that's why a mental fatigue situation created when you feel anxiety, depression, not energized anymore to do your work, and not enough concentrated. Now, I'll be telling you few things which I did to improve and outcome from this trap. Starting with the first one, I understood that if you can't measure it, you can't monitor it. And I use my smartphone only to measure my timeline, how much time I'm putting to it, and I started monitoring it. The second point, I set some limits to it, that how much hours I'll be using my mobile phone. Let's say 1 hour or 2 hour, and then it will not allow me only to open those apps, and that really helped me. Third one, I set some tech-free zones and tech-free periods where I will not use my mobile phones at all. For example, 2 hours once I'll wake up, and before 2 hours when I'll go for sleep. And that really helped me to improve my sleep patterns. I started a habit of talking to people when I'm around to them rather than using my mobile phones. I installed all the applications which were not required for me, so that I should not put my mind on unnecessary required things. So there are a lot of things which you can do, but these were some of the examples which I told you. Now, in a nutshell, I'll tell you, I agree. We can't throw our smartphone away, and we can't use our keypad phones again, because escape from smartphones nowadays is very difficult. And that's why they say, if you can't beat it, be with them. So make it your friend. Have a better relationship with it, so that you can get benefited out of it rather than impacted by it. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shubham, for sharing this screen trap. And in today's connected world, we all are slaves of this connected technology, mobile phone and laptops. We often spend more time than what is actually needed. I still remember in 2020, I used to spend around 7 hours only on mobile. But with awareness, I was able to reduce. And few of the tricks what you have mentioned, that you time how much time you need to spend on mobile. And one anecdote I also want to add to what you have already shared is always keep your mobile away from your side. So if it is not around, of course, that will prevent you from using. With that, let's move on with our fourth speaker. So let me introduce our fourth speaker, Toastmaster Samita Kar. For her, change is the only way of life, and her life reflects on that. She started her professional journey as a teacher, then chased her dream till she became the principal of a school. But her dreams changed, and now she's a soft skill trainer for graduating kids. Over the years, her hobbies changed from batik and cross stitch to reading and traveling. She's enjoying her third pathway in Toastmaster journey. Today, she's attempting her level 4 project 2 from Path Motivation Strategy. The purpose of this project for the member is to apply her understanding of social media to enhance and establish our social media presence. Timer, please note, duration of her speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and she will be evaluated by Toastmaster Anna Jurisova. So, Toastmaster Anna, could you please confirm your presence?
Yes, I am definitely here with you.
Thank you. Her speech title is Post, Like and Build. Toastmaster Samita, post, like and build. Post, like and build. Toastmaster Samita. Over to you.
Roti, kapda, makan, and Wi-Fi. It roughly translates to bread, clothing, house, and of course, Wi-Fi. Where can we go without the social media presence today? Everything that we do should be documented. You know what? Your breakfast looks so amazing due to the filters that are there on Instagram. Social media is there in our life. We cannot run away from it. My previous speaker spoke about how we get addicted to it. Is social media presence necessary? The answer is yes. If you know how to use social media. Till a decade ago, we did not have social media. But when it has come into our life, we need to understand how to use it. It is something which has invaded in our lives. Can we use it in a better way? Yes, we can. You can brand yourself. You can build something online. You don't need to go visit place to place, but telling that this is my business today. Today, you can sit in the comfort of your house and build your presence online. We have many mediums. The question is, why do you want to build a brand? You want to build a personal brand? You want to build a brand for the work that you do? Or do you want to become someone who other people follow? This why is extremely important when you want to talk about social media presence. Why do you need to build a brand? Because the answer to that why will be what you will be getting. Your personal brand can become the biggest advertisement for you. Your personal brand that you built can help you get your clients. The question then comes, which social media platform should I use? Of course, there's a plethora of them. You have your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and so many others. With this why, let us understand, where do I need to? Facebook, the community is huge. You can advertise there. You can post there. You can post videos there. Instagram, on the other hand, is more visual in content. It has short video formats with music, which makes it extremely attractive. Then you have LinkedIn, which is more on post content. So on and so forth. But today I'll be talking of Instagram. Instagram has a visual appeal. It has very short videos. And that helps that instant connect happening with your audience. Now, when you talk of Instagram, first things first, what should you put up on Instagram? What should you put up on Instagram? The first thing that you should put up, why do you want to have a page? Now, I'm sharing my screen. Here, I'm a soft skill trainer, as you all know. So I have created a page called the Soft Skill Samhita Style. I have the ability to post here. Then there is something called as the followers. If you post something, people follow you and you can follow back. What happens? What happens is that in 2010, Instagram had come. In 2020, July, other than my birthday, Instagram introduced the short reel. Now, in this short reel, you can post content based on the brand that you're building. And when you post content, people engage with that. When people engage with the content, you get followers. And these followers are your advertisers. Whenever you are doing something, you want them to know, you will post it and people will see that and they will come and like it. They will ask you questions, interact with it. Like I have posted whenever I want to have a workshop or when I am taking workshops. So these are the pictures of my soft skill training workshop in colleges, in schools, and sometimes I post content about the quote, that is where they can use that quote, which will help them. Now, social media is a vast platform. According to the frequency of how much you are posting, what you're posting, are you engaging with your audience? You will see that you will have a very good social media presence. The most difficult part of that, creating content is one, but the most difficult is being consistent in posting. Consistent doesn't mean that you have to post every single day. You may take once a week, but that once a week, that day, you have to post. It is not about the thousands of followers that you have, but if you have the followers who are engaging in your content, you will be building a brand. Today, this online platform, most effective way of building our online presence. Will you build one tomorrow? Over to you. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Samhita, for sharing the precious details about it. Definitely, it will help in building the brand and then what all things we should consider. It's eye-opener because I never thought we can build a brand or an Instagram. We thought it's just more about the likes and notification part of it. Thank you. So now moving on to our fifth speaker, Toastmaster Premwada Sharma. She is a 24-year-old diving headfirst into fascinating world of psychology. She is all about connecting with folks. It's like fuel for her soul. She's attempting her level 3 project 1 from Path team collaboration. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce or review strategies for working in collaborative group. Timer, please note the duration of her speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and she'll be evaluated by Toastmaster Mukund.
Toastmaster Jitendra, just a minute. I I cannot see Priyamvada Sharma on camera. Priyamvada, are you there in the meeting?
Yes, she's there.
Yeah, but she's come. Okay.
Okay, great. And Toastmaster Mukund, could you please confirm your presence?
Yes, I am here.
Great. So her speech title is "Will Tell You Soon." Toastmaster Priyamvada, will tell you soon. Will tell you soon. Toastmaster Priyamvada.
You're on mute, Premvada. You're on mute. Please unmute.
I was saying just that. Can I have my audio and video check?
Can you speak a bit louder because it's very feeble for me?
Okay. I was asking for the same for audio and video check.
Yeah, now it's perfect.
Okay. Can I have a moment?
Sure, sure.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready.
Yes, you can start.
How are you? Let me ask you again. How are you? Well, you don't have to answer here. Just think about it in your head and answer yourself. Maybe some of you would have thought that I'm great. Wow, I'm okay. I'm fine. Or maybe I'm not doing that fine. But even if you are not doing that fine, that's okay as well. It's a part of life, right? Feeling blue sometimes. But sometimes is the key word here, my dear friend. It should not be often. Now, you must be thinking, what is she blabbering about? What is she getting at? Just get it over, Priyamvada. Well, let me quote a study for you. According to a study done by Lancet, 44.9 million people struggle with anxiety, and over 45 million people struggle with depression. That in India. Imagine the global scale. This study takes me back to a time in 2023 when I had joined a mental health organization. I had joined that mental health organization as a content writer for my own benefit, for my own development, for my own growth. But life had other plans. You see, the organization had invited me for a collaborative project that aimed at mapping the mental health of Indian citizens, spreading awareness, and helping them. Wow, it was amazing. I have thought. Now, the purpose of the collaboration was simple yet profound, because when you try to help a community, when you try to bring changes in a community, the individuals change themselves on their own. So the project had changed my perspective completely. Our team, I remember, was a mix of talents. There were psychologists who had deep empathy. There were psychology students, as for myself, who were eager to make a difference. And there were data analysts with sharp minds, creative content writers for spreading our message, and a technical team to turning that vision into reality. The thing was that we had to break down how to do all of it. So we had decided to use a tool called DAS21. DAS21 was used to score depression, anxiety, and stress through a scoring system. It scored the levels of anxiety, depression, stress a person is having. Now, second, how would we reach people? We would market that we are conducting this session free of cost and everyone is invited. we decided to do 8 Zoom sessions back to back, in which people would join from different areas of the country, from different parts. But the problem with DAS 21 was the language was too technical, and we had to strip it down so that real people could understand it. Then again, we also had to guide those people in the Zoom session carefully, because it was not just people in the virtual rooms, it was their struggle that they had brought with themselves, the triggers that they had brought with themselves. In that project, I was in the part where we had to change and modify the language, where we had to conduct the Zoom sessions, and then through those Zoom sessions we had to use that data. Now that was just not data, it was the stories of people who were going through their battles alone. So we had to score everything and then email them. Another challenge was again that we could not just tell people that you might be prone to this or you might be battling with this. This is your score. No, we had to give them something which they can hold on to, on which they can rest their heads upon, get help. So we decided to create a resource in which there were numbers of psychiatrists, psychologists, and counselors, their websites, their mails, and the online platforms through which they could connect. We also decided to get some exercises that they could do individually for relieving their symptoms. The work was intense, the effort was intense, and over 200 people had joined, beyond what we could imagine. And we were thankful that this collaborative effort had made some impact. The impact had been, I could see that the impact had been made outside, but another impact had been made inside of me. When I realized that as a team, when you come as a when different people come together, they could do much more than one individual can. It is like doing something that you could not imagine doing yourself. And when people come together, you could go beyond what you think you are capable of. I also realized that collaboration means impact. The impact to change, the impact to make the society better. And how it helped me, it helped me in viewing that whatever I was doing, whatever I was working on was actually meaningful, and that there were more people who shared my goals. As Paul Zosro has said, that collaborative effort not only helps you in collaborative effort not only helps you knowing yourself, but knowing more than you could know. So my friends, I request that go seek out your vision and seek out people who share your vision and make the change. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Premvada, for sharing your story and how anxiety and mental health change not only other people, but also impacted your personal life and changed you as a person. Thank you for sharing that. Now, moving on to our sixth speaker. She doesn't need any introduction because you might have seen quite often in our Toastmasters meeting in Gabbys. She's none other than Toastmasters Smriti Mohanty. She was a sales manager by profession and certified soft skill trainer by interest. Almost a decade, when she is after almost a decade, she is now a full-time management student by virtue of time. She joined Toastmaster to sharpen her saw of public speaking and currently VP Education for Gabbys online club. Outside Toastmaster, she is mindful introverted soul whose life revolves around food, family, and dance. Today, she's attempting her speech from Pathways Mentor Program. The purpose of this project is for the member to apply mentorship skill during long-term mentoring commitments. Timer, please note the duration of speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and she'll be evaluated by Toastmaster Himanshu. Toastmaster Himanshu, could you please confirm your presence?
Toastmaster Jitender, Himanshu couldn't make it, so I'll be the evaluator.
Okay. It's Toastmaster Joane, right?
Jasprit.
Okay, just
Toastmaster Jasprit.
okay. Thank you. So her speech title is Interviewing the Panel Protectors. Toastmaster Smruti, Interviewing the Panel Protectors. Interviewing the Panel Protectors. Toastmaster Smruti.
A quick correction, the speech title is USP. So I would request my evaluator to please make a note of it. And timer, you may start now. What I want, what they want, what I'm going to do to bridge the gap. What I want, what they want, and what I'm going to do to bridge this gap. In different sphere of my life, I was overwhelmed with this particular question. Figuring out, understanding what is that technique which will help me to at least stand out, make myself visible or relevant in any circumstances. Fortunately, I did discover an answer. The technique is USP. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, when I say the term USP, may I know what exactly comes to your mind? Do you have a definition or any explanation for the same? In a word or two, can someone tell me what comes to your mind when you hear the word USP?
Unique selling point.
Unique selling point. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Unique sales proposition, right?
A special quality.
A special quality. I heard unique sales proposition. Well, we all are on the same page. USP can be unique sales selling point. However, in marketing, the terminology is unique selling proposition. We related to USP to marketing. But me being in the experience of sales and training, I also related to the same. I thought to understand, yes, USP is one technique or key which will help me in different spheres of life to understand and stay relevant. I need to identify my USP. Now, USP in marketing. Do you know how to channelize the same with a terminology called mentoring? USP in mentoring is what my discovery and journey is all about from past couple of months. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, once again, I am standing in front of you as a Toastmaster. As a mentor who is in a trustworthy relationship with my mentees. My mentees which help me to grow. Maybe I am equally contributing to help them grow. And through this particular relationship, we did try, we are trying, and we are aiming to build a trustworthy, as I said earlier, something which is proactive and something which is long-term in nature. And the word is learning. Learning is what we want to capture, we wanted to capture, and we are aiming to capture in this particular journey. As I'm here today standing as a mentor, I have beautiful mentees who helped me to be your mentor. Something which I was privileged enough, I got a chance to share my experience with fellow Toastmasters. This relationship has its own terminologies, friends, but at the end of the day, we were learners. However, I said I get overwhelmed in situation, and this was no different. When I got a chance to be mentored to my fellow Toastmasters, I was all in with my own traits. To voice out things when you really want to be very expressive when it comes to screen, to be very beautiful with your choice of words, and to be all in when it comes to screen presence. It was all me, 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 me. I wanted my mentees to take the stage and attempt table topics. I wanted them to focus on the micro expression and go all out when it comes to camera. I wanted them to complete speech after speech, path after path, wherever it is possible and feasible. Again, it was all me, and me. That's what I am thinking. Don't know what they were thinking, and I was again in that loop to bridge the gap. When I discovered the understanding of USP. But here, the USP was slightly different. The U stands for understanding. Through this process, I try to understand, okay, maybe this is what I'm expecting, but what about them? What was their reason to even join Toastmasters? Why they did decide to join Toastmaster when they're already good at speaking? Or they are not good in speaking, they don't want to speak, still they join Toastmasters? It all boils down to understanding. Second, S. S stands for the service part. Servicing, the process part. That was another crucial point. Servicing included me to connect with them timely, to define, rather together define the goals, the timeline for the goals, sometimes to define the boundaries, to decide on a set parameters, when to connect, with what intent to connect, how to connect. That was the entire servicing part. Then came the P. And trust me, be Toastmasters meeting or a mentorship. P stands for performance review. That's the evaluation part. It is very important to get evaluated and give evaluations because that will help us to set certain parameters for growth. And that's how this USP helped me to understand this process and spend some good amount. As I said, I am blessed to have few very good mentees with me. One end, they are thinking they are learning from me, but trust me when I say they don't know, secretly I have learned a lot, grooming, developing, and scaling up my skill to another level. I may not take their names in any particular order, or let me not even take names here, but let me tell you, she taught me how to be a direct communicator. She taught me the power of persuasion. She taught me the power of poisonous and graceful composure. Well, he taught me dedication and sincerity. She taught me the power of innocence, compassion, and curiosity, and he taught me adaptability. This was my journey. I am sailing through it, but not alone. With them, I understood mentoring is not you, it's us. Mentor and mentee in a relationship of mentoring where mentee can be a driver and mentor can be a co-pilot, which can help the mentee to sail through the process. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guest, if you are in this Toastmaster journey or aiming to be in the Toastmaster journey, do not hesitate to take the role of a mentor. Because a mentor is someone who helps a mentee to see certain perspective from another kaleidoscope all put together. I defined my USP. You can go ahead and define yours. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Smruti, for sharing the mentor and mentee relationship and unique proposition USP, which stands for understanding, servicing, and performance. I'm sure different people will take up the mentorship or mentorship role so that they can support other people as well. With that, let's move on to our speaker 7. So she is not attempting any speech, but she is the table topic master of the day today. And she's none other than Prabha Luhaniwal, and it's part of her project. So let me introduce her. She's a fun-loving, ambitious, and sporty person. Along with her profession as a product manager, she finds delight in exploring new places and immerse herself in different cultures through travel. Today, she is attempting her level 3 project 2 from dynamic leadership path. Purpose of this project is for member to demonstrate her ability to listen what others say. Duration of this her table topics are around 30 minutes, and she'll be evaluated by Toastmaster Joane Joseph. Could you please confirm your presence, Toastmaster Joane?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. So now over to you, Toastmaster Prabha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jitender, for the lovely introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Have you ever found yourself in a personal or professional group discussion wherein you have something to say, but by the time you articulate your thoughts in your head and raise your opinion, the discussion has moved on to another topic? Many a times, right? So this is one of the reasons we have this table topic session in Toastmaster meetings, to prepare you to think on your toes, to articulate your thoughts immediately, and tell an interesting story that keeps your audience hooked. So whether you are new to this or an expert, already a Toastmaster and a visiting guest here, I want all of you to come up and take a stab at it. Just a quick reminder, you can think of the table topic speech as a mini speech with an opening, a body, and a conclusion. All right, so let's get this started. Can we have the volunteers, please? Yeah. Diana, I'll be giving your topic in the chat. All right. This is for you, Diana. All right. So we have 2 volunteers. I would like to pick Megha first. Megha, the topic for you is the habits that reveal the most about me is. Toastmaster Megha, the topic is the habit that reveal the most about me is.
Am I audible?
Yes.
The habit that reveal the most about me is my attachment and the clingingness to the perfectionism of whatever I take up to. That is something that I'm working upon, because with ways to become detached and to take them not so heavily on myself, to bring that perfectionism in whatsoever I took. Like I wanted to lose my weight, so I took up all the means by nutrition, by exercise, by breathing techniques, by eating habits, and I lost weight of around 8 to 10 kgs in 2 months. And then I took another task of, the project that I'm working upon, and my mentor says, you are ready with the PDF on the second day. I cannot monitor it, so be a little less. So that is my habit of, getting to the perfectionism, concluding the task or whatsoever, deadlines I am getting in. But now the people around me say that you should work upon this habit of, not to become so perfect, not to chase your roles and become somewhere like imperfectly perfect. Thank you.
I completely agree what you just said, and wow, you totally relate with what I also go through day-to-day basis, that you want to be perfect in some task, and for that reason sometimes you tend to procrastinate and wait for so long that it and that you miss the deadline, so maybe in your head, right? So I totally get what you're saying, and lovely take on this. All right, so moving on to the next volunteer, I would like to invite Toastmaster Seema. All right, so the topic for you is the most random talent I have is, Toastmaster Seema, the most random talent I have is, there you go.
The most random talent. Wow. I think the most random talent is my smile. I just can smile anytime. And anytime people ask me, how can you be so cheerful? We have never seen you down or sad or perplexed or whatsoever. There is a smile, a perpetual smile on my face anytime. And I'm called the smiling Buddha or a laughter Buddha. Well, friends, I don't know how I got the smile. I do remember my husband telling me, you have a great smile. Yes, I thought that's a great compliment. And then when I look at my photographs, if I'm not smiling with my teeth out, I'm not looking good. Yes, I should smile more often. So it's quite random. I don't see people around smiling. And sometimes when I'm just smiling, people just look at me. Why is this lady smiling? Even I don't know why I'm smiling, but I keep smiling. I just walk with that. Walking with a smile. Sometimes I make very good friends. Sometimes, oh my God, I have to listen. Why? Why is she behaving like that? What is she possessing? Is she trying to talk to us? Madam, we are not interested. Well, I get all those looks, the irritated ones, those who just didn't want to speak. I'm the person who would always be on the verge of talking to anyone. And how could I start a conversation? So, to start a conversation, a smile works the best. And I just look into the eyes of a person, give a very sweet smile. And then I say, hello. And there I go. I don't know whether this is right or wrong, but this is the most random thing I possess. And I just go on smiling. Thank you.
Wow, what a random talent you have, yet very important in this today world. And this is definitely right. This is not wrong at all, because I'm sure whenever you are in a room full of people, the energy goes up with your presence. So yeah, it's a beautiful random talent you have. I have random talent is that I can imitate walks of people. So that is my random talent. Maybe I can show it to all of you once when we meet. All right. So moving on to the other another volunteer. I would like to invite Akib
Yep.
onto the stage.
Hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can. All right. So the topic for you is silence speaks louder sometimes. Akib, silence speaks louder sometimes.
Silence. Silence. What I'm recalling is my teacher in the school. So I had this teacher and we were very crazy back then. Every time we start making noise, she would come in. Silent! I want silence! Everybody like, shh. Do you guys recall those moments? No? You guys were very simple kids, is it? All of us go through those phases wherein somebody tries to silence us, somebody tries to overpower us by shutting us. And initially it was our teacher, but as you grow, especially when you are adolescent, every time you are silenced, and I would feel suffocated. I was like, hey, I have an idea. Why are you silencing me? Most of the time in your families, you would realize that the idea that you are coming up is not as accepted as the elder ones. Like, bro, although we are not of same age, but the ideas are genuine. The ideas are really good enough, and we should work upon. But that age stuff, the demography, all the stuff. And I've been fighting with it a lot. So I'm like, if you're not going to accept what I say, or if you're not going to at least listen to what I say, I don't think I belong here and I would not contribute. I think silencing somebody, of course, it speaks louder than anything, and I do not speak in those places. I was like, if you're not respecting what I'm trying to bring in on the table, it's better that I keep calm. I just keep it to myself and move away. So I think that's what has helped me skip companies, switch a lot of job roles whenever I feel it's not being valued. I just take my own route and find new ways. So I think it's a learning for all of us. The moment you feel you're being silenced and your ideas and thoughts are not being respected, that's where you lose your creativity, the articulation, a lot of those stuff, right? So be sure and be aware of what is happening around you. And if you're being silenced, time to move on. Over to you, table topic master Prabha.
Very interesting take on this topic. I mean, like you took us through the ride of the journey back from your childhood to what you are going through or what you have seen in your day-to-day life. I understand what you are trying to say here, that you should not be silenced when you are being silenced too. So yes, interesting take on this. Now moving on to the next table topic speech, I would like to invite Meeta ma'am to take a stab at it. And the topic for you is what I have learned about myself recently is, Toastmaster Meeta ma'am, what I've learned about myself recently is, Toastmaster Meeta ma'am.
Wow, recently. There are so many things what I have learned. How can I express all the things in just a minute, 2 minutes? It's impossible. In this short time, I have learned a lot of things. Yes, being as a Toastmaster, I have learned the leadership skills, how to be a leader, how to handle the situation, how to become always motivate others. That I have learned. I've learned. Let learn, but I always see the others also to learn along with me. I am growing. I always see the others also growing along with me. I have learned that in Toastmasters, being a Toastmaster, I have learned how to be always learner, and learner. Learn from anywhere, from any person. Not the age doesn't make any sense, but learn everywhere, anytime. If you are walking or talking, when you are taking any role, we are learning lot of things. So I have learned to be how to be as a motivator, learner, and leader. And now I am also learning how to be a best communicator. So that also communication skills. Today I'm speaking. That is also I've learned from Toastmasters. So that skill I can't forget. So Toastmasters gives a lot of things: how to speak, how to network, and how to give all. I don't know what is your thought, what you have learned. That is over to you. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Table topic master.
What a great learning. I mean, to have that learning mindset at every walks of your life, at every stage of your life, is something that is very important in this changing world. What I've learned recently about myself is to be mindful in everything I do, and be and to be able to foresee few things that you can control. So yeah, that's what I've learned. But interesting take, and I loved how you are still looking forward to learn from others. And yeah. Now moving on to the next speaker, I would like to invite Toastmaster Rahul, and the topic for you is, the weirdest thing I have ever eaten is. The weirdest thing I have ever eaten is your topic, Toastmaster Rahul.
Wow. So the weirdest thing which I have ever ate is uh, an octopus. So I was there traveling sometime back, uh, and I visited Goa. There, there's a lot of seafood, but I wanted to definitely explore a lot of things. And I visited one place near the North Goa. There, they were serving bunch of non-veg, and I was there at one of the restaurant, and they had very unique dishes, and one of that was octopus, which I was keen to know how will it taste, being a non-vegetarian, and that was the weirdest thing I have ever tasted because it was tasting like a rubbery sponge. So I don't know how many of you have tasted. If somebody has, then they can raise their hand also. I would love to know their views regarding octopus. But yeah, that was the weirdest thing I have ever tasted in my life. Thank you.
Non-veg, and on top of that, being a seafood lover, wow, I could totally relate with you. And I also go, whenever I go to any coastal region, I would like to try. I love trying seafood, and just like how you had done, right? And while you were talking about your experience, I'm intrigued to know how that would taste like. So yes, very interesting thing to have. Next, I would like to invite is Toastmaster Seema. If we can have Seema on the stage.
Toastmaster Seema is done.
Oh, sorry. Pratiksha. Can we have Pratiksha on stage? Would you like to take a stab on it, Pratiksha?
Yeah, I can try.
All right. Yeah. So the topic for you is a hobby I have always wanted to try is, I would read it again. A hobby I have always wanted to try is.
Yeah, so yeah, a hobby which I always wanted to try is swimming. So I'm really very afraid of, going into deep water or going for scuba. So many of people has told me that if you will learn swimming, there might be chance that you will go, fearlessly because you don't know how to swim. So there might be fear because of that. And many of my friends are learning swimming nowadays, and they keep telling me that the trainer push you into the water abruptly, and you have to learn like this. So I'm really very scared of that, but I every 1 or 2 day I'm like, okay, now I'll go for swimming, now I'll try this. But I'm never ever to collect that much courage to uh, go and learn swimming because of my fear for deep water. That fear was not there from starting. Actually, when I was 10 years old, then I was doing that sliding into the water, and then I couldn't stand on my feet, and I went there into the water for around 45 seconds. So that fear has arose from there, and I'm not able to overcome that, but I want to. It's not like that I don't want to. I want to, and I am sure that I'll be able to do that one day. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah, what a lovely story of wanting to try to this hobby of swim in the water. This is something that I also want to try whenever I go to some beach places. Then is that something that then this hobby clicks in my mind that I want to try. But yeah, I hope you try and give it a shot. And should be able to make this as a hobby and become a great swimmer. All the best.
Sure. Thank you, Prabha.
So let's. Do we have more time, Toastmaster Yogita?
We can go for 2 to 3 minutes more. That's it.
Okay. So next, I would like to invite Neha. Do you want to give it a try, Neha?
Here, Neha Yadav.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. So
yes, I wanted to try. Thank you so much.
Awesome. The topic for you is, if I were invisible for a day, I would. The topic for you, if I were invisible for a day, I would.
Well, if I were invisible for a day, then I would actually like to see how the richest people talk. How do they make so much money? I mean, their money, the source of income, what is the secret? How do they earn so much money? Not because I'm a big lover of money, but I just want to know their secrets. And knowing the secret is so much fun. So I would like to give it a try. So, yeah. Thank you.
Sounded like a fun thing to do. You are invisible. Even I want to try that you are around these entrepreneurs or maybe founders, rich people.
Yeah,
And
when all the rich people are sitting having a cup of coffee, then I would love to hear their conversation and then secretly adopt it, try to adopt it the way they are doing it. So yeah, it would be fun.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Now I would like to read out Toastmaster Diane's take on this, on her topic. Thank Toastmaster Table Master. Want a longer break from roommate to living so long this house. My turn will be going get away from roommate, and I could like to be able personal in life of my turn of pretty life. And I know that her as bullying to me every time I felt hurt, bad. Also, I think that going to my turn to meeting Friday afternoon with my manager, I want a break time from roommate table master. Thank you so much to Toastmaster Diane for sharing what you wanted to share on this, and I hope she understands you well as a person, and you get the break from her if you want. I wish that she goes away for a week or a month so that you get a break, lovely break for yourself to spend more time with yourself. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prabha. There were a lot of interesting topics, and yeah, I can think of octopus. I was thinking, what should I eat next? With that, I think before we start the evaluation process, I would like to check with our timer, Toastmaster Sreehari. Could you confirm if anyone got disqualified today?
Yes, from the prepared speeches, there have been 3 disqualifications, and for the table topic, 2 disqualifications.
Okay.
Could you share the names, please?
Okay. Prepared speeches, Samita Kar, Priyamvada, Smriti Mohanty, they were disqualified, and table topics, Akib and Neha Yadav.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Sreehari. Yeah, I can completely understand. Sometimes you are overflown with your emotions and then you keep on going on with your story and what you have prepared. Great. Let's start with our evaluation. So let me call upon our first evaluator, Toastmaster Punith, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Yogita. So just a quick introduction of Punith. Toastmaster Punith is non-fictitious book enthusiast, a dedicated practitioner of David Allen's Getting Things Done method, and a prominent ex-com member of Toastmaster Indranagar Pride. So over to you, Punith.
Thank you, Toastmasters Jitendra. Toastmaster Yogita, your speech was inspiring, motivating, truly moving, and the content was totally engaging. I like the way you beautifully played with the quotes. There are some quotes I definitely noted down, and that's a takeaway from your speech. I don't forgive myself if I don't try. Doing enough is not enough. Pain of rejection is better than pain of return. I definitely take these the quotes, and definitely it made me move. Then I felt your speech was authentic, because I rarely see people the talking coming forward and admit that the what I'm doing was I want to do with a passion, and I'm not challenging the status quo. Now I decided to do an action with a passion, and that the content was connected with me. I admire and encourage you to do more. I think the veteran like you can do that. Thus, coming to the speech structure, it was typical and clear. That it has a clear intro where you set the context where you want to become a better person. Then, in the coming to the body, you explain why you want to be a better person, sharing your journey, experience, your perspectives, and you ended the speech with the strong quote. That was a clear structure in yours. There was a clear structure in your speech. And coming to a body of the speech, what I liked is the version that you showed, the version that was presented well in your speech, starting with you born in an Orthodox family, then you try your civil service, then finally you figured out your call is in HR, and there you explain it was like why you like that HR position. It is not about meeting the expectation; it is about the growth, and it was totally aligned with your speech message. And your pathway was motivational strategy, and what an icebreaker speech. It was a great start, and it was the speech overall. The speech was inspiring and motivating. And coming to the overall, it is spoken words were clear, the pace was comfortable, and it was whatever you wanted to share, it was clearly heard and felt. The coming to the recommendation, I felt the speech was authentic, blended with moving quotes. It was interesting, but you could have make it more engaging by telling stories. However, I felt that this speech wrote from heart. You are a veteran speaker. It was an absolute pleasure to listen to your speeches. Lot to learn from you. Once again, is a great start by taking this pathway. Uh, Looking forward to listen to your more speeches in future. Thank you. All the best. Over to you, Toastmaster Jitendra.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmaster Punith, for evaluating Yogita. It was very detailed and a good recommendation and suggestion, what you mentioned. Now let's move on to our second evaluator, Toastmaster Upasana, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Nupur. Just a brief introduction about Toastmaster Upasana. She's chirpy, happy-go-lucky bookworm who loves to eat, cook, travel, and listen to music and read about Indian mythology. She has been fortunate enough to visit 13 different countries and love exploring new culture. Currently, she works as a senior technical writer for MNC. So, Toastmaster Upasana, over to you.
Thank you so much. Toastmaster Nupur, your presentation was very beautiful. The complete content was very engaging. The title, the first starting of the title was very intriguing, and I wanted to understand more about what is quiet leadership. Your introduction was quite exciting. The first few lines grabbed the attention of the audience, and I wanted to hear more. However, also I like the analogies which you used in the very first segment, like penguin. Second was smelling blood, just like sharks. I loved how you have used these analogies, as well as your vocabulary is very strong. I am so happy to hear so many new words from you, which I have not used in my day-to-day life, but hearing it from you is actually a very fresh air. So kudos on that. I felt, however, there are few areas of improvement, such as first is maintaining consistent eye contact. Like, since this is an online platform and we cannot have eye contact with each and everybody, however, we can at least see towards the camera where your light is there, where your camera is there. Example, right now, I am looking in the camera. I am not looking at you. I am looking in the camera. Now you see that I am seeing you. The moment I look somewhere else or I look at your photograph, my eyes changes. So make sure that you always look in the camera. That will make your eye contact consistent. Second, I have heard too many filler words, that is to. To is a Hindi word. So we do not use that. Make sure that you do not use this Hindi word term in your further speeches. Third, in my opinion, I thought that during the end of your content of your speech, it became bit vague. I think that you were dragging the concept of leadership. Your first starting until your middle point, it was great. You gave us your story of your childhood story. In the middle, I thought it did not end well. So if you can maintain that, then your speech will be icing on the cake. That being said, your use of analogies were extremely creative and effective. You have a very strong vocabulary. That is your greatest asset. I would request you to make sure that you use it to your full advantage. And as for point of improvement, improve your eye contact, get a clarity on your speech, get a clarity on the speech structure so that you have a very good flow, and especially towards the end, which will enhance your flow. Keep leveraging your powerful language skills for the greater impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Upasana, for evaluating Dr. Nupur and giving your valuable inputs so that she can become better speaker. Now moving on to our third evaluator, Toastmaster Lakshmi, could you please confirm if you are there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. So Toastmaster Lakshmi will be evaluating Toastmaster Shubham. Just a brief introduction about Lakshmi. As a behavior and leadership trainer, Lakshmi found her ikigai through her job with Akshay Patra Foundation. She facilitated training programs across India that upskills and motivates the frontline workers of her organization. And to upskill herself, her only go-to place is Toastmaster. So over to you, Toastmaster Lakshmi.
Screen trap. What a topic, what a title for a wonderful topic that you have chosen today, Toastmaster Shubham. Toastmaster Shubham, before I go ahead with my evaluation, may I ask you a question? I would like to understand what was your purpose of delivering this speech today?
To make us aware how many hours we are using with smartphone and what is the impact and what we can do to have a better relationship with it so that we can get benefited of it, not impacted by it.
Wonderful. So I take one word from what you just said to make the audience aware. That means it was an informative speech that you were trying to deliver today. And because you say it was an informative speech, I must say you did a great job in passing on that information to each one of us, which means you have met the guidelines of the project. That is delivering a speech with a purpose. And for doing that, I must say your title helped you. The content as well helped you. What did I really love about your content? It had a very clear structure, starting from your introduction to the body. Now, when I come to the body, I must tell this, the body was very clearly cut into, you had 3 points for everything. Like you had 3 points which you said, know the cause, know the impact, practical solutions. Then you spoke about novelty, anxiety, acknowledgement. And for each, you had a brief example as well, which helped me stay connected to what you were speaking, because you didn't derail from your topic. So great job done on that. Now coming to a few areas of improvement. Though I really loved the way you started, I think it was a planned role play where the team said hello, hello, right? However, I wish instead of doing it that way, if it was a little more natural, probably that was, I don't know if that was told to the TMOD already. However, if it was like the TMOD very naturally had helped you by saying, hey, Toastmaster Shubham, I think you're next, you need to speak. Actually, all of us would have thought that, you were doing it very naturally, though it is a very small thing. Another thing that I would like to bring up here is, though this is a very relevant topic for today's age and time, generalization of such things might not go right on a lot of people, because not many people are addicted to phone or screen. So probably you could have just taken a poll in the beginning, or you could have just said most of us, or some data points saying that 70% to 60% of the people. That would have given a very balanced effect on the people who are listening to you. Now, to take this speech ahead, I would want you to convert this informative speech into a persuasive speech. How would you do that? Do it with a strong call of action at the end of your speech as a conclusion. So you have information. You are actually giving your true life, things that you did to make the change. So why not give a call of action at the end and take it from informative to persuasive? Yes. So overall, I must say a well-structured speech met this project purpose. You may want to work on generalization part and try to take your speech to the next level through persuasion. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi, for giving the detailed feedback. And one thing, of course, I'll carry is not to generalize. With that, moving on to our next evaluator, Toastmaster Anna, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Samita Kar. A brief introduction about Anna Jurisova. She is the Area Director B3 Slovakia, President of Toastmaster Bratislava. She is with Toastmaster from 15 years. Over to you, Toastmaster Anna.
Who of you has an account on social media somewhere? I do. I have some old account on Facebook. I usually just use it for messaging, and I might have a LinkedIn somewhere. However, today's speech, I feel really encouraged to start consolidate my social media presence and do some branding. Who felt encouraged to look at their social media differently? I did. You don't have to agree with me, but if you do, raise your hand. Not so many hands, probably you have it, old masters, but for us who don't, a speech by Toastmasters, Namita, it was fantastic reminder how we can do the personal branding. She even showed us how is she doing it. She showed us PowerPoint presentation without losing her personal presence, both visual aids, her face and the presentation were on the screen, which I really applaud. There could be different setup where you can mesh it up. You can ask some IT guy to get you. There is a menu link where you can put the background the presentation, so it could be useful for some time. But what I really love, I love the topic. I love her expertise, how she was presenting it with knowledge, and there was also what I will be evaluating. I will evaluate the structure. The structure was like in bullet points, what should we do and how is she doing it, to use the personal example. That was a great tool.
And I also like the effect that it urged me to look at my social media and the branding. What could be added to give it a sense of urgency that maybe social media are filled with a lot of advertisement these days, bots and chats, and the relevant messages can get lost, so still personal connections are important. And also maybe what are the risks to make a speech more impactful, what are the things that are driving people away from it, could be what I mentioned, could be something completely different, the content is always up to her, and what are actually people doing to to make it better, because some of us are afraid of our employers, what they would say if I make a personal media page or something, to address this kind of any concern from the audience. I don't know what their concern would be and what I would really improve. It happens to me quite often, maybe even today, that I am more like a drill instructor in a fitness studio and in the army, and it happens to Toastmaster Samita as well. She gave us bullet points, but I would sparkle it up a little bit with a smile and more laid back approach, because I am fighting with the same thing in my job. So it really helps if I am aware of it, and I am looking forward to our improved social media presence. Back to the moderator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anna, for your conspicuous details. Now, moving on to our next evaluator, Toastmaster Mukund, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Premvada. Brief introduction about Mukund. He's a finance professional working for Capgemini as a director. He is currently the Vice President Education of Gabbys Toastmaster. He loves reading, public speaking, and currently he's learning golf. So over to you, Toastmaster Mukund.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day, Jitendra. Toastmaster Priyamvada. First of all, congratulations on completing your project. Your speech had a good organization. It had a great opening, a body, and a conclusion. But something hilarious happened in the beginning which went unnoticed. When you gave the details of your project, you didn't give the speech title. Instead, you had mentioned, "Will tell you soon." But the TMOD mistook that to be the title of the speech and said, "Speech title, will tell you soon." So I was wondering what the speech is going to be all about and what is going to be told very soon. But then, as you went through the opening of your speech, you started speaking about one statistic where some 45 million people suffer from depression and anxiety, and that gave away what exactly your speech was all about. A good opening, which started with a question, which made all of us sit up, right? And then ask, because you started with the question, we said, "How are you?" Okay, great. So something we can expect now from the speaker. And of course, you didn't kind of disappoint us. You really went about how the entire process of collaboration happened. Your body spoke about, again, about your project, your various participants, right? And then the process of a little bit about the process of the collaboration, and which was basically to bring about change, right? By catering to the depressed people and mentally depressed people, you wanted to bring about a change, and that was the whole project about. And finally, your conclusion was also good, which again, but the thing is, it again spoke about the impact of your collaboration. Right? I'm stressing on the fact impact because you will know why, and the impact of outside to the people and the impact for yourself because of this collaboration. So you have met the guidelines of the project, which was a good organization, and your experience on the impact. But what I would like to tell you here is your whole speech would have been totally relevant to the project you have been doing if your speech was more about the collaboration itself rather than the purpose of the collaboration, which is to bring an impact. Bringing an impact is fine, but what is it that you did in this collaboration? Like for instance, the roles played by various participants. Although you mentioned the name of the participants, like the data scientists, data analysts, content writers, etc., but what are the roles that they actually play? you could have given an example of what they were to do in this whole project and how the collaboration happened between these participants, right? And what were the challenges faced while you were coordinating with these various types of people, the analysts, content writers, etc., and how you overcome those challenges. And finally, what was your experience in this whole project? If your speech had been on this length, then I thought it would have been more relevant for the collaboration. But nonetheless, a great speech, a great impact to the society. Congratulations on your speech. Looking to hear from you more. Thank you. Back to you,
Thank you,
Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster Mukund. It was a detailed evaluation, and you have given that how she could improve her speech in going forward. So I'm looking forward for more speech from Toastmaster Priyamvada. Moving on to our next evaluator, Toastmaster Jasprit, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Smruti. So let me share you a brief intro about Jasprit. Toastmaster Jasprit is posh and OXO trainer who helps build inclusive workplace. She's also a communication and workplace skill coach. She's a CBSE English faculty who helped more than 2,000 students ace the board exams. So Toastmaster Jasprit, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Good day. My target speaker, Toastmaster Smruti. Oh my God, what a speech. I think each and every Toastmaster mentor sitting in the room today would have resonated with the speech because you actually brought out the mindset, the thoughts that happen in the mind of the mentors. Now, specifically, the thing that you put up very beautifully was what I want, what they want. The way you brought it out was really very good. So you told your journey of mentorship. I would call it as your process of evolution. The path that you chose to move ahead step by step, and how you refined and fine-tuned yourself as a mentor. Now, yes, then you brought in your take on USP, understanding, servicing, and performance. Wonderful that was. And I guess, again, this is how I was actually putting myself into this thing that do I fit into all these things? And the blocks were coming together beautifully. And I don't think anyone could have streamlined it better. So I was able to really enjoy it very much. And the best thing was how you brought this aspect. Mentor learns a lot from the mentees. That is, I think, one fact we need to bring out more often, which we generally don't do. We do get, with each new mentee, we have a set of things that we get to learn is what you brought in. Now, your body language, your pitch was appropriate. You know, one thing, Smruti, I missed the grammarian in the meeting today. Your diction was beautiful. I was really wanting the grammarian to be there, making note of it, kaleidoscope, sailing through, co-pilot. You upscaled the level of the speech. And I, being an English faculty, was really, it was pleasing my soul really very much. All right. Now, a recommendation for you. The Toastmasters, the mentors who are Toastmasters would definitely have enjoyed and understood everything. But from the point of view of those people who have not gone through this mentor-mentee kind of a relationship, I would have expected maybe the examples. You did give some examples. I understand you didn't want to name anyone. So without naming, you could have brought an example. And with that example, had you elaborated on what you said, I think it would have been really very much more captivating for those people who are not aware of this entire process that you and I, people like us, we sail through. So that could have been just one thing. And otherwise, it was a great speech. And the shift from me to you, from the mentor to the mentee, was really very wonderful. Mentor standpoint to mentee standpoint is, yes, what we need to understand, because all of us being mentors think like that. Great evaluating your speech. More power to you, and all the best for your future speeches. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jasprit, for evaluating Toastmaster Smruti. It was very detailed, and you highlighted what are the strengths and how she can elaborate further to take it to her speech to next level. Now moving on to our last evaluator, let me call upon our evaluator Toastmaster Joane Joseph, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Prabha. So let me give a brief introduction about Joane Joseph. Joane Joseph, a content writer and passionate reader, is an introvert who finds joy in conversation. She immerses herself in diverse music genre and languages, while her free evenings are spent treasure hunting in vintage book and stationery stores. Hailing from Mumbai, she cherishes the sunrises and sunset at Marine Drive. So over to you, Toastmaster Joane Joseph.
Thank you so much, Jitendra. I'm not spotlighted because for some reason my camera is not working. Apologies. Prabha, congratulations on hosting a wonderful table topics session. It was a project of active listening and you have aced the project, no doubt about that. I love the way you brought in such simple, relatable topics, yet the way they were structured made people think for a moment. So I love the way you structured the sentences, took some simple topics, but structured it in a way that it made it a little complex and interesting, to say so. I also love the calm and positive demeanor that you have, something I'm looking forward to learn from you someday, honestly. Envy you, the way calmly you just, handle every person, speak, the way you talk, the way you say thank you, and then, go for the next person. That calm, graceful demeanor is something I think a host, all of us would envy as a host. And I love that. And also the compassion that you showed, especially for Diana, the way you reacted to her message, that comes out very compassionately. And a host needs to be compassionate, no doubt about that. So overall, if you tell me you aced the project, no doubt, and I loved almost every aspect about it. I have few recommendations for you, but my dear, take them with a pinch of salt because they are more of a challenge than a recommendation. So I have divided my recommendations into two parts. One is on hosting and one is on active listening. The active listening part is actually a challenge, not a recommendation, to take you to the next level. So let's start with the hosting part. You forgot to introduce the timer and you forgot to introduce the timing details. Now, we go with the assumption that everybody knows we can see the timer. But trust me, when the first time you come into Toastmasters as a guest, you're utterly confused what is happening with the green, yellow, and red. So it is very important, especially for table topics, because guests are involved in that, that you tell and show the guest that this is the timing, this is how it works. Yellow card comes, you have to wrap up when yellow comes, and after it, you just have a 30-second or you get disqualified. So that information you did not pass on. And when it comes to hosting, a little bit patience. You tell the name of the person and then you give the topic then and there. Wait for a second, wait for them to be spotlighted so that they can also see where they are, where the timer is, and get ready. So this is just the part of hosting, small things, nothing big. When it comes to active listening, I have one challenge for you. That is, read between the lines. You heard everything clearly and you gave beautiful opinions and you gave beautiful answers to all the speeches. So that shows that you heard and you were listening actively. But the next level of active listening is, to understand the underlying motive of the speech, not just the word and not just the information. For example, somebody spoke about silence. You could have connected it to speech. You could have said, see, so now you know how important silence is. We as speakers also know how important pauses are. This is an underlying motive that you're thinking about. Or when somebody spoke about octopus, you should always be ready to go beyond your comfort zone. Thank you for giving us this message. Even if the speaker has not given that conclusion, in the active listening part, you have to learn to take that underlying motives and then talk about that. So that's just a challenge. Overall, I loved it. Just think about those nitty-gritties of hosting and read between the lines, and you're going to ace it as a host. Thank you, and back to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joane. I think I liked your recommendation that read between the lines and then what message, particular table topic speaker is delivering. With that, I think we have reached to the end of this meeting. So let me hand over the meeting to our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Yogita.
Wow, wow, wow. What a wonderful meeting we had. So all the guests present here, how did you like? Meanwhile, I launched the polls. Timer, could you confirm Did we include all the evaluators, or do I again have to edit?
Just give me a couple of seconds. I'll paste the screenshot in the chat.
Could you just give me the names if all qualified?
Okay. Yes, for the evaluation, all are qualified. For the table topics, Akib and Neha Yadav are disqualified.
Yeah, I noted that. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful work, Toastmaster Sreehari. Can we have a round of applause for the Toastmaster of the Day and Toastmaster Sreehari for doing the wonderful job as the Toastmaster of the Day and the timer? Meanwhile, I'm launching the polls, and I would request every one of you to unmute yourself and share one thing that you loved about today's meeting. And let's start with the Toastmaster of the Day.
The best part about Gabbys is the time. We always start on time, whether we have, sometime any speaker or evaluator is missing, but it never stops us to start on time. I think that is the best thing I liked about it. And the format that we always start with the speeches and we never deviate from the time allocated. So that is the best thing I really liked about Gabbys. And we are consistently in that.
Wonderful. Let's aim to not miss it even this time. Can we now have a word from Toastmaster Jaspreet?
Yes, Yogita. So yes, just to add on to what Toastmaster Jitender said. So yes, we are very much on time, and there may be different odds coming up, hiccups happening. But yes, thanks to our very strong backup team, that everything is taken care of very well. We start on time, we end on time. So that is our USP of Gabbys. Over to you, Yogita.
With USP, let's go to the USP of the meeting. Toastmaster Smriti, what are your views?
Thank you, Toastmaster Yogita. Okay, before I say my learnings, let me read out what, or please read out what Dina has mentioned over chat.
So Dina said I feel love this meeting was awesome with my speech that powerful inside. And I agree, your speech is the spotlight of the entire meeting. What a wonderful speech. Yes, everybody needs a break from difficult people. Nonetheless, yes, Toastmaster Smriti.
Thank you so much. Definitely, I must say that every time we come to a meeting like this, we understand that where we are standing. If not that, we learn how, especially what I learned, that what this speaker or this evaluator, they did something really best, and I can take it from there and add it in my speech or in my learning process down the line. So like any other Gabbys meeting, this is also another great learning process I'll put together. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Okay, what about our guest, Toastmaster Neha? I see you interestingly looking at the camera. Would you like to share what you loved about today's meeting? You are on mute.
I think she's on a call parallelly. Meanwhile,
No. One of my earphones is actually not working. That's why I'm holding this. So yes, as mentioned earlier too, that perfect timing of Gabbys. This is the most favorite thing of mine, that everybody is on time. None of the members are taking too much time, and all the speeches are a way to learn more and more. And it's a great platform that you learn how to speak, how to communicate, and the body language, the confidence always goes up. So I'm really looking forward to joining the Gabbys soon. Thank you.
We would love to have you very soon and hope to see you as a Toastmaster giving your first icebreaker speech. Now, moving ahead, let's have Madam PO, President of the Gabbys International Toastmaster Meeta. Would you like to share something?
Yes, I learned from this that what is the mentoring, how we have to mentor, and in future, yes, though I am a mentor of kids, not for the Toastmasters, but yes, I am learning a lot, and I'll be seeing that, and even the time management, how we are managing the time, that is always there at Gabbys, and everyone role takers have done the great job. Even outsiders also, they have come from Ukraine and different countries also, different parts of across the world. But I say wonderful evaluation they have done, lot of learning from them also. So that was a lot of learning. Thank you. Over to you.
Since we have so many good words about the timing, let's hear it from a timer. So Toastmaster Sreehari, how was it?
It was great. I was having a hard time juggling between having to listen and having to time. And also table topics were really great as it made us tell about ourselves. I think that was two great takeaways from today's session.
Okay, so time for the results now. And we will not be having any polls for the speech because I gave my icebreaker speech and I'm apologetic for all the others who could not participate. Next, we had the polls for the evaluators, and who do you think did the best? Anything?
Lakshmi, Sujatha.
And who was she? Was it Lakshmi herself? I'm sorry, I missed the name.
Yeah, Megha.
Megha. So yes, Megha, you're absolutely right. It was Toastmaster Lakshmi, but she is not in the meeting. Let's have a round of applause for a wonderful evaluation. Talking about the evaluation, the next polls we had for the table topic speakers, I don't think it would be very hard to guess. It could be, but she has been a prominent winner in all the meetings she participated. Wow, what? And now
is the winner.
Yes, she is the winner actually, with getting almost all the votes this time and nobody even close to her. So I have the privilege of sharing the stage with the winner. Thank you so much, Tina, for participating. Keep up the spirit. And thank you, Gabbys, for the wonderful meeting. Hope to see you soon on next Saturday and Tuesday and every time we meet. Till then, have a great night. Thank you.
Pratiksha is there. Invite Pratiksha. Guest Pratiksha.
Yes, Toastmaster Pratiksha, would you like to share something?
Oh, one thing I would like to say, it was very engaging. I'm a kind of person who goes into a meeting and keeps looking at the time when it is going to end. So when I looked at the duration of the meeting, so I was like, oh my God, 2 hours. But when I joined it, the time went like it went fly. So it was very engaging. I couldn't took out any time to take my eye off from the screen, or couldn't I was listening very actively to all of you. It was very nice.
Thank you, and we hope to see you soon in other meetings as well, and as a Gabbys member as well. All right, with this, I would like to adjourn today's meeting as we are past 2 minutes and Gabbys does not go beyond time. All right, thank you so much. See you upcoming Saturday. Take care. Bye.